Today is just one of those days where I have to force myself to do anything. I'm so frustrated. I was just watching this really good show. It's called Insecure, right? Most relatable show I have ever seen. And then I get to the third or fourth episode, and it's just non-stop sex scenes. Like, non-stop sex scenes. I'm so nauseous and stressed out. Like, I can't do sex scenes. I don't know why they put those in shows or movies, but they make me very uncomfortable. That just threw my vibe off, babe. Either way, I'm about to make these beans. These kids need to eat, whether I'm having a good mental health day or a bad mental health day. They still need to eat. So. My kids are not vegan. They are the fakest vegans you will ever meet in your life. But they still love vegan food. One of their favorite dishes used to be chili. So I still make it. I'm going to make it with some crushed tomatoes, red kidney beans. I got some peppers and onions. It'll be very, very flavorful and very, very filling. They love it. I think people have a misconception that vegan food is all salads. It's really, really not. And it's not all fruit either, even though that is the healthiest diet to have is an all fruit diet. If you have any kind of cancer or any kind of ailments, go on an all fruit diet for 5 months and fast intermittently. You will definitely heal yourself. Like, don't let nobody tell you any lie about that. Food is definitely medicine, and that is why I get so irritated with my kids when they used to have this mentality of tearing through food and not taking their time when they prepare it. I'm like, no, first of all, you don't cook in a dirty kitchen. Cooking is a sacred space. My kitchen is a sacred space. The spirits speak to me when I'm in the kitchen. I did not teach myself how to cook. I was moved to know how to cook. Yes, I was all in the recipe books when I was younger and tried to teach myself, but most of the time they were just whisperings of what to do, kind of like motherhood. You just get this, it's like this internal knowing. It's like everyone that came before you left their imprint in your DNA and through your blood, and they speak to you and they give you guidance. Well, at least for me anyway. I feel like it's that way with everybody, but either you tap into those energies or you don't, you know? Spirituality for me is not like a fad or something you fade in and out of. It's a lifestyle, and it means connecting with those that came before me and asking for guidance and giving appreciation for that, and even in the kitchen. So right now I'm just taking you through my thought process. This is how I prepare to cook. I've already cleaned the entire kitchen. It was already clean, but I do a wipe down, make sure the dishes are washed. I am gathering my ingredients. I already have my beans that have soaked for, they soaked for 24 hours, and then I drained them and they've been sitting in the fridge for 2 days. So I've got my beans, I've got my peppers, I need my onions. I'm gonna go grab my onions. Ginger, onions, and garlic are never to be kept in the fridge. They have a high moisture content and will mold, and if you leave these things in the fridge for too long and eat them, you can actually die. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do some bread. And what are these? These are not white, yellow. I don't really usually buy white onions unless I have a problem finding what I'm looking for, which happens because I live in a food desert. And I sold my car because I was having anxiety attacks while I was driving, and because it broke down and it cost too much to fix, so I just sold it. The kids still use onion powder. I have actually stopped using onion powder ever since I found out about the metals in the seasonings. I try to use the least amount of seasonings possible. So I use fresh garlic, fresh ginger, fresh onions, fresh peppers to flavor my food. I also try to always use sea salt. It's not always in the budget. I like pink Himalayan salt also. That's probably my favorite. I'd like to try that black sea salt. It's probably going to be delicious. And they also have a gray salt. I want to try that. I'm also going to put it in my body products. I have a lot of things that I want to do, and I'm pushing myself not to flake on them. It's very cold. I've been through a lot. It's easy to just crawl up in my mind and in my bed in the winter and just not deal with stuff and just want to sleep and not create. Because for me, whether I'm cooking or I'm writing a song or I'm recording a song, whatever expression of art that I'm indulging in at the moment, I give my whole heart, and I have to tap into emotions that maybe I don't want to deal with. Well, there's no maybe about it. I don't want to deal with the shit. You know what I'm saying? And it's very, very stressful for me. So I find that I avoid dealing with shit like that. So then I end up with uncompleted projects. because dealing with my pain is painful. And in order to create art, I have to deal with those emotions. But now that I have been honest with myself about that, I can hold myself accountable. And in this new season, I'm showing up for myself and for the kids. So I can't let this bipolar disorder rule my life and dictate to me when I leave my house or when I talk to my kids. Man, it's a lot I haven't dealt with. I mean, the death of my husband would be one. I keep calling him my husband. He was not my husband when he died. He was my ex-husband. And there's a lot that comes with it. Like, he was a major part of my life. We were married for 20 years. We had 6 children. And he was somebody that was very close to me, and we've been through a lot together. We trauma bonded, but it's like, he had a lot of spiritual stuff going on with him as well. Like me. And he also had mental health stuff. Like, he was schizophrenic. He had done things in his life that made him haunted in a very real way. And it's like we had a lot of supernatural experiences together, and it bonded us in a way that made us feel set apart from the rest of the world. And with me not having a family, a real family, because I was adopted, and the people that adopted me did not want to keep me and did not treat me as a part of their family. It wasn't a fairy tale situation. It was more like a Cinderella situation. Only my prince was a vampire. For real. Anyway, my son put me on to something that I forgot that I had even used before, because I've been looking for new beats to write some new music. And he put me onto this website, BeatStars, that I forgot that I used to use. But both of my sons use it. And I found about 4 beats that I really, really like. And I'm excited about writing new music. And I feel like that's going to be how I heal from some of the stuff that I'm not dealing with. Slowly and slowly, since I have new beats, and I have reached a point where I'm definitely ready to start healing from some of this trauma by facing the stuff that I've been trying to ignore. But I'm ready. I'm ready to deal with it. I'm ready to deal with it because I can see how me not dealing with it is causing me to have behavioral patterns that undermine my goals. For example, me overindulging in media because I don't want to sit in stillness and silence and deal with all of my internal stuff on a consistent basis equals me not spending enough time developing myself as a person by reading, studying, working on my music, all that. And until this very moment, I don't think I realized that I was ready. Because I love music. I love music from the depths of my soul. Music saved me. Music raised me. And music changed me. I feel like I am music. I hear music in my head 24 hours a day. I don't even need headphones. The music never stops playing. And I love to write. I love writing. I love different types of pens and how like a felt tip pen will be different than a different type of pen. Like it makes your handwriting look different, and you can express yourself through how you write words, whether it's italicized or emboldened or colored. I just love authentic expression. It's beautiful. Even the ugly is beautiful. And art expresses that. And I think that's dope. Love art. So this is what I've got. Peeled my onions and my garlic. I'm going to chop all of this down. I'm going to give this another rinse. And yeah, I'm going to go take care of that and I'll be right back. All right, as promised, I got my onions diced. Got my garlic diced. I still have to cut up my red peppers. I'm going to throw my onions in my pot that I have warming up right now on an 8 just because my burner's acting crazy. This is my little mess container. If I had a compost pile, I would put this in here. Usually I save my shavings and put them in the freezer from vegetables and stuff like that so I can make vegetable stock, but I'm not going to do that today because my freezer is actually full. I'm going to go dump this out. I like to clean as I cook. I cannot stand a messy kitchen. So next I'm going to come and put all of my seasonings and spices into one container. So I'll be right back. Okay, so let's start with the salt. Ooh, that looks like a lot. Just do. What am I doing? I'm doing beans. Dang, that looks like a lot of salt. Put some of that back. You can always. So it's like what, a tablespoon? That is definitely not gonna be enough. Cause I've got pasta sauce. Tomatoes in there too. All right. No more than 2 tablespoons for me. I do not really care for cumin, but that gives me that umami flavor when I make dishes that would usually have meat in it that don't. So I'm only gonna put the tiniest bit of cumin in there. Like, it goes a long way for real. This is really strong. Okay. Let me do my turmeric. I love turmeric. I started using it after I read that it helps with depression. So, but you also have to use black pepper with it to unlock its medicinal benefits. And it has others, but that was the one that stuck out to me. I've really been using too much pepper lately. I have really underestimated how spicy black pepper can get. I like paprika. I put it in everything. Smoked paprika is everything. Okay, so I've got some ground up mustard. Oh, I love that. Okay. Just my secret ingredient. Cinnamon. Okay. All right, my oil is heated up. I like red palm oil when I make beans, but I don't have any. So I'm using extra virgin olive oil. My favorite oil is avocado oil. It used to be olive oil, but then I found avocado oil and fell in love. I also love avocados. So I'm going to saute this about 3 or 4 minutes. Then I'm going to add my garlic. By that time, my peppers will be cut. Okay. This is before I add any water. I'm about to go grab my filter. Hold on. I've been continuously guilty of overwatering my beans, which is why I'm not using a bigger pot. This helps me measure appropriately. This is what we're going to start with. Add water as we need it. I'm going to bring this to a boil. And once I do that, it's going to simmer. So I found it takes beans longer to cook when you cook them at a high temperature than if you cook them at a low temperature. You have to bring it to a boil and let them simmer. I didn't realize that. I used to cook my beans for hours and they would still be hard. But I was cooking them at too high of a temperature. And that's when I began to realize that cooking is a science, and I started taking it a lot more seriously. I started really, really researching recipes and understanding what does baking soda do? What part does it play when you're baking? And why is salt important? And how does it affect the recipe? And just learning the science behind cooking. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm a dork. All right, time to get these dishes washed. Gizzard is what I'm looking for. All right, we've come to a boil, so now I'm going to cover it up and put it on low. And I'm going to go take care of some errands I have been trying to avoid. Getting up and cooking that food inspired me to go take care of the rest of my responsibilities. That momentum, once you get the ball rolling, baby, we good. Here's my superhero socks. I'm a superhero. I always take my business cards with me. It's got my Spotify on it. All right, I gotta go to the post office, then to the bodega, then to the dollar store. Yeah. Well, they closed an hour ago. Okay. I'll be back on Monday because I don't have any stamps. I went to the bodega. I like coming to the bodega because they sell their rice in bulk, their jasmine rice. And so you can get 10 pounds, 20 pounds, and it comes out to $1 a pound. So yes, definitely would rather come here than go to Sam's Club. Sam's Club is overwhelming. Good to see you. She's so nice. I've known this lady for like 12 years. Okay. See? They sell up to 50 pounds. I'm gonna get 20 pounds. The kids have been begging for plantains, so I'm gonna get them some. I'm back. I ended up grabbing some garlic. They have the best garlic in this town. We're gonna try this papaya. We've never had that before. I gotta Google it. Got my rice and their plantains. Let's go check on these beans. I literally just walked in the house. I gotta wash my hands first. Okay, beans. Ooh, yeah, buddy. My house smells like a taco stand. So I had to add a little bit more salt. What else did I add? I added something. Oh, the tiniest bit of chipotle. Yeah, they're almost done. Oh, and I added a little bit more water. Yes, they're almost done. Every time I come back in the house from being outside, I take a shower. This tastes really, really good. The beans are soft, so I'm about to turn them off and cover them up and let them soak for like 20 minutes or a half hour. So the beans can fill up with that nice, delicious broth. Look at this. It's so good. You can't at all taste the cinnamon. Look at that. It's got so many levels of flavor. Creamy, meaty, spicy, and a little bit of sweet. This broth is so good. Look at the color of the broth. I'm making a mess. Isis, what are you doing? And 20 minutes later, exact consistency I wanted. Yes, I'm very happy with how this turned out. And I'm making some jasmine rice in the pack. It'll be done in 20 minutes. This is our finished product. That's good. See you in the next video. Peace.